Hello friends and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to deal with this topic named crop production and management, which is the first topic of biology. Now let's get to know about the topics which are covered in this chapter. The topics which are covered in this chapter are agriculture and animal husbandry. So let's get started. First, let's get to know about what is agriculture. The applied branch of biology, which deals with cultivation of plants and rearing of animals, is called agriculture. Generally, the art or practice of cultivating land is referred as agriculture. The branch of agriculture which deals with food, health, and management of animals is known as animal husbandry. So, friends, there are many branches in biology which deal with numerous amount of things. But this branch or this topic called agriculture deals with only and only cultivation of plants and rearing of animals. And the branch agriculture is also divided into two parts, that is cultivation of plants and rearing of animals. The branch that which handles rearing of animals is known as animal husbandry. Now let's get to know about something called crop. When plants of the same kind are grown and cultivated at one place and on a large scale, it is called a crop. So now crops are divided or classified into two main batches depending on the seasons which they grow, that is kharif crops and rabi crops. So let's get to know about them. Kharif crops cultivated during June to September, that is rainy season, whereas rabi crops cultivated during October to March, that is the winter season. Now let's get to know about both of these crops in brief. Now let's get to know about kharif crops first. The crops which are grown during the monsoon, or that is the rainy season, which is June to September, are called kharif crops. For example, maize, millet, cotton, paddy, etc. Seeds of these crops are sown in the beginning of monsoon season. After maturation, these crops are harvested at the end of monsoon season, that is October to November. So, I have few examples of kharif crops over here, that are maize and rice. Next is rabi crops. Crops which are grown during the winter season, that is October to March, are called rabi crops. For example, wheat, gram, mustard, etc. Seeds of these crops are sown in the beginning of winter season. After maturation of crops, they are harvested at the end of winter season, that is April to May. Here I have some examples of rabi crops, that is gram and wheat. Now let's get to know about the term agricultural practices, which you will find many times in your textbook while reading it. All activities which farmers do for the cultivation of plants are called agricultural practices. For doing various activities, a farmer needs different types of tools. The tools which are involved in cultivation of plants are called agricultural implements. Farmers perform agricultural practices in a sequence. So now let's get to know about this sequence in which farmer performs these activities. The first one is preparation of soil. Before sowing the crop seeds, the soil of the field is loosened and overturned. This process is called plowing or tilling. Plowing causes ventilation of soil and makes it suitable for the growth of small organisms living in it. The tool used in this process is a plow. A plow. What is a plow? A large farming implement with one or more blades fixed in a frame, used to turn over and cut furrows in soil, is known as a plow. Plow may be made up of only wood, wood and iron, or of iron only. So here I have a label diagram of plow in which you can see a beam, a plow shaft, a handle and a plowshare. And this is a diagram of cultivator, which is a modern machine used for plowing of soil. The use of cultivator saves a lot of time and also saves the money for labor. So next process is sowing of seeds. For sowing, farmers obtain certified seeds from State Agriculture Department and Seed Corporation. Sometimes farmers also select seeds from their own crop. For selection of seeds of most of the crop, seeds are put into a bucket of water. The seeds which float on the top are rejected. These can be defective seeds. The seeds which remain submerged in the water are selected for sowing. The selected seeds are treated with chemicals such as argocin or kerosene. This chemical treatment protects the seedling from seed-borne diseases. Seeds are sown either by hand broadcasting, that is spreading, or by seed drills. A type of seed drill commonly used is a long iron pipe having a funnel at the top. It is tied to a back of the plow. A farmer does plowing and simultaneously releases the seeds from the funnel. Seeds thus released pass through an iron pipe to the soil furrows which are formed by a plow. So friends, here I have a diagram of modern seed drill. Next step is adding manures and fertilizers. Like other plants, crop plants also obtain their mineral nutrients from the soil. Continuous growing of crop in the field causes deficiency of mineral nutrients in the soil. So the manure is added in the soil to make up the deficiency of mineral nutrients. This process is known as manuring. Manure is prepared from cow dung, urine and other organic waste. Sometimes soil becomes deficient in a particular mineral nutrient. This happens when the same crop is grown in the same field year after year. For example, a particular crop takes more amount of phosphate. If this crop is grown in the field every year, the soil will become deficient in phosphorus nutrient. This type of deficiency of particular nutrient is made up by adding chemical substances called fertilizers. For example, urea, superphosphate and NPK, which has a combination of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Here I have a image of farmer adding manure or fertilizers to his plants. Next and the most important one of this is irrigation. Supply of water to crops at different intervals of time is called irrigation. The time and frequency of irrigation varies from crop to crop, soil to soil and season to season. So here are some modern methods of irrigation, that are sprinkler system and drip irrigation. Now let's get to know about more methods of irrigation, that are traditional methods in which moat or pulley system, chain pump and dekli or rahat come, and modern methods that I just showed you guys, that are sprinkler system and drip system. Protection from weeds. The unwanted plants in the fields are called weeds. Seeds of these weeds spread through the agencies like air, water, birds and other animals. Weeds share water, sunlight, space and nutrient with the crop plants. Thus, they compete with the crop plants. Therefore, their removal is necessary. Otherwise, the crop plant do not get sufficient space, water, sunlight and nutrients to grow healthier. Weeds are weeded out either by hand or with the help of an implement called harrow. Nowadays, for controlling the growth of weeds, certain chemicals are used. These chemicals are called weedicides. Some examples are 2 and 4-D. So here I have images of two processes of removing weeds. First one is manually doing it with hand, and the second one weeding with a tool. Harvesting and threshing. When crops get matured, they usually turn yellow or golden brown. This is the time when crops should be cut. Cutting of crops is known as harvesting. Harvesting is either done manually by a sickle or by a machine called harvester. Harvested crop is further dried and then animals such as bullocks, buffaloes, camels are made to walk over it. The grains are separated from the chaff with the help of wind. This process is known as winnowing, about which we had studied in our earlier classes. The whole process of separation of grains from the harvested crop is known as threshing. Big farmers have huge machines known as combines which do both harvesting and threshing. So you can see the image of harvesting and threshing. These are the traditional methods, hence they are done by hand. Storage. Grains obtained by threshing are dried in the open. The dried grains are stored in gunny bags and placed in properly ventilated cemented halls, known as godowns. Farmers keep dried grains in jute bags or metallic bins or mud bins. Large-scale storage of grains is done in silos and granaries. For storing large quantities of grains in big godowns, Specific chemical treatment are used to protect them from pests and other microorganisms. So here is an image of a silo. Animal husbandry. Food is also obtained from animals, for which animals are reared and provided with proper food, shelter and care. When this is done on a large scale, it is known as animal husbandry. In animal husbandry, the mating of animals is also done. Now some important questions. Why kharif crops cannot be grown in Rabi season? Kharif crops require a lot of water. In kharif season, the rain provides this water and kharif crops get sufficient water for their growth. So kharif crops cannot be grown in the Rabi season as they require more water for their growth, and Rabi season or the winter season is a dry season in which there is no enough water supply for the crops. Next question. What are the steps involved in soil preparation? The three main steps which are involved in soil preparation are plowing, leveling and manuring. So now let's get to know about each of them in detail. First one is plowing. Plowing includes loosening and digging of soil. During plowing, the soil becomes loose and the nutrients in deep soil come to the top. Also, aeration of soil will increase, thus the air is available for breathing and the roots are easily penetrated between the soil. Other purposes of plowing are integration of manure, uprooting weeds and removal of infectious pathogens, insects, etc. Plows of wood and iron are used for this purpose. Bullocks or tractors are used to pull the plow. Hoe is another tool which is used to uproot weeds and loosen the soil. Next one is leveling. Leveling helps in even distribution and the soil is leveled after plowing. A plank of wood or iron is used for this process. Leveling also helps in water distribution without logging during irrigation. Last one is manuring. After plowing and leveling, manure is applied to further stages of farming. Manuring is done to replenish the soil with nutrients and thus helps proper growth of plants. So what is the next question? Name the medium in which plants grow. Soil is the natural medium for plants to grow. The medium in which plants grow is called the nutrient medium. These nutrient medium are used in tissue culture laboratories. These nutrient medium has the ingredients of soil. What is next question? Why is it necessary to dry the grains before storing them? If freshly harvested grains are stored without drying, they might spoil or get attacked by microorganisms, losing their germination capacity. Hence, before storing them, they are properly dried in sun to reduce moisture present in them. This prevents the attack of insects, pests, bacteria and other fungi. Next question is, how are manures prepared by farmers? Farmers dump plant and animal waste in pits at open places and allow them to decompose. Decomposition is caused by some microorganisms present in the soil. Over a period of time, the decomposed matter converts into a manure, which farmers use later to replenish the nutrients in their field. Next question is, explain modern methods of irrigation. So the first method is sprinkler irrigation. It is an easy and simple method of irrigation nowadays. Water is provided to the fields by spraying water droplets similar to rain through pipes. Any loss of water is avoided in sprinkler system. Problem of waterlogging is not present in this system. The balance of groundwater is also maintained. Sprinkler irrigation is done in areas with less water and uneven ground level. The main pipeline is laid in the field. They are joined with perpendicular pipelines with rotating nozzles. Water from the tube well is allowed to pass through these pipelines under pressure, which escapes from rotating nozzles and gets sprinkled on the crops. Sprinkler irrigation is required in areas where change of temperature of earth, environment and humidity is required. The continuous sprinkling of water improves the physical conditions and compositions of the soil. Next one is drip irrigation. The method of irrigation is gaining popularity in areas with scarcity of water. Narrow pipes with small holes are laid on the fields. When water flows through these pipes, it drips at the places of roots of the plants. The roots absorb the water and to plants. Furthermore, no water is wasted in this method. So the next question in this chapter is explain the process of transplantation. In agriculture and gardening, transplanting or replanting is a technique of moving plant from one location to another. In horticulture of some ornamental plants, transplants are used infrequently and carefully because they carry with them a significant risk of killing a plant. In agriculture, this is generally done with the rice plant. As you all know, there is a method called transplanting of rice. Name the two fertilizers containing nitrogen and other containing phosphorus. NPK contains both nitrogen and phosphorus, whereas NH4NO3 contains only nitrogen, and MAP, which is monoammonium phosphate, contains phosphorus. Why is excessive irrigation harmful to the crop? Excess water supplied to the crop may result in condition known as waterlogging. It reduces air in the soil, thereby damaging the roots. If too much of water is added in the soil, the water will log and there won't be any air gaps for the plants or the microorganisms to breathe through. This might decrease the amount of ventilation in the soil. Why should we grow seeds in the moist soil? Actually, seeds need more moisture and sunlight to germinate. So we put seeds in wet soil so that seeds can take sufficient water from the soil and take sunlight for its growth. Seeds have nutrients stored in it for the plant until it grows enough to make its own food through photosynthesis. Why are fields irrigated before sowing the seeds? Before sowing, soil should be prepared well by plowing and watering. Irrigation helps to moisture and loose the soil. It is necessary to loosen the soil because the only loose soil allows the roots to penetrate freely deeper into the soil. Last question of this chapter. What are organic foods? The term organic refers to the way agricultural products are grown and processed, while regulations vary from country to country. So, in organic foods, no synthesized or man-made products are used such as fertilizers or any other weedicides. Thank you for watching this video till end. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you in the next video. Bye bye for now.